Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Favorite Bands A to Z, the show we're doing throughout the month of July. Each day, a different letter. I'm going to pick my favorite band or artist that starts with that letter. If it's a band, obviously the first word of the name of the band. If it's a artist, going by the last name, first letter of the last name. In addition, I'm also picking a runner-up. And I'm going to pick my favorite album from each of these bands or acts or artists, whatever, what have you. So today, we of course stumbled upon K. Today, K. And lots to choose from. Lots to choose from. I've seen all sorts of speculation in the comments about Pete's going to go for this band, Pete's going to go for this band. It's easy. I definitely know what he's going to do. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I do know picking the favorite. Well, this was sort of tough, but in the end, K has got to be Kansas. All right, my favorite album from Kansas generally is Left Overture. I know sometimes it changes a little bit. I usually go Left Overture, Point of America, Song for America, Point of No Return. Love how I combine the two there. It's early, guys. Those are generally my three, but I do love Mass quite a bit. I do love the self-titled debut quite a bit. But generally, for me, their magnum opus, so to speak, which of course is also on this album, for me is Left Overture. One of the great, probably the most notable American progressive rock band. So many great songs. I love, all the keyboards and the violin and the crunchy guitar and those amazing vocals. Whether from the classic days of Steve Walsh and Robbie Steinhardt, or even today Ronnie Platt and Billy Greer, right? They brought us so many great albums, so much great music, so majestic, pretty rockin'. Okay, I know that there's always people who pop up who are like, oh, Kansas aren't prog. Well, they certainly are. The problem is, they have a couple really big hits that people tend to focus on, which really weren't prog, right? But they're a prog band. Let's make no mistake about it. Although they rock pretty hard, maybe rock a little bit harder than some of the British prog greats, right? But just an amazing band. I've loved them for as long as I can remember. Probably the first prog band I really got into back in the late 70s. And, I still cherish them to this day. So K is all about Kansas today. But the runner-up. So I saw all sorts of people saying, well, Pete's going to pick Kiss, or Pete's going to pick Camelot, or Pete's going to pick this or that or the other thing, or Catatonia, or, God, looking up at my K's up there, who else could I have picked here? The Kinks, that was another name that got thrown out quite a bit. But, there really is no other choice for me than King Crimson. I was even trying to convince myself that King Crimson should have been number one. But Kansas, I like a little bit more. But I absolutely love King Crimson. Such an important band. As far as my favorite album, it usually fluctuates back and forth between the first album, The Court of Crimson King, or Red. I decided to go with Red today because this version of the band, with John Wetton, Robert Fripp, Bill Bruford, man, just so great, and even, with David Cross, right? I love this whole era. I know Cross only appears briefly on this album, but I just love this era of the band so much. So savage, so, out there. Just doing things that nobody else was doing at the time. So, but I like all King Crimson music, obviously. But, so they are my, Kiss. If we would have done this 30 years ago, Kiss would have probably been, if not number one, number two. And I do love Kiss. Kiss would have been my number three for the purposes of this. But, there's just, for me, Kansas and King Crimson are two bands that have really climbed the ladder amongst favorite bands for me for the last, 30 plus years, and it's just, for me, I can't deny them. Number one and number two in this category, or this letter, is K. So no disrespect to Kiss, love them, but it's all about these two for today for me. So curious to see what you guys think. As far as great songs on these albums, come on, title track to Red, Fallen Angel, One More Red Nightmare, the gorgeous Starless. You got Providence as well, and from this album, Carry On Wayward Son, obviously probably the most beloved album in their beloved song in their catalog, magnum opus, Questions of My Childhood, The Wall. Oh, just love The Wall. So many great songs in here. Miracles Out of Nowhere, Cheyenne Anthem. I mean, so many great songs. Just majestic, great music. Both totally different, Obviously, these guys greatly influenced by these guys. Yeah, there you have it. Kansas King Crimson. Pick your favorite band or artist, starting with K. Your favorite album, your runner-up favorite album in the comments below. Curious to see what everybody comes up with. I think we're going to see both of these bands coming up quite a bit, I think. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of love for Kiss. I've already seen people talking about Catatonia, and I saw Richie Kotzen being mentioned. I'm sure Camelot's going to be mentioned. A lot of K's out there. Casey and the Sunshine Band, whatever. So we'll see what everybody comes up with. And upcoming programming, Martin Popoff in the house later this morning. So stay tuned for that. We're going to do part 2 of our look at albums that most people seem to kind of shit on and hate, but we really like. So that's coming up later on this morning. And we've hopefully got some ranking the album shows for you over the weekend, so stay tuned for that. It all depends on kind of my schedule. Got some stuff going on that might prevent that this weekend, but we'll see how it goes. So hopefully do want to do that. We've also got the top fusion albums of the 80s with George LeMay. Hope to get that squeezed in as well. So stay tuned. A lot of great stuff. If you haven't subscribed, please click on that subscribe button. Please click on the notification bell so you get emails every time we post a video. If you'd like to make a channel donation, we've got the link to our Ko-Fi page below. Thank you for all the donations, and they go towards buying new music and equipment and things like that. So all of that's greatly appreciated. We've got the link to our merch page if you want to get some cool Sea of Tranquility merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, caps, stickers, coffee mugs, all that fun stuff. And of course the link to our 20 years on the internet webzine, seatranquility.org. Over 22,000 album reviews there. A great database of all things prog and metal. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you once again tomorrow morning with another edition of Favorite Bands A through Z. I almost said albums. I always have albums on the brain. That of course will be running every day throughout the month of July as we work our way to Z. Thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.